How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. This is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. If you don't support that, you can get the fuck out of here. This is Season 3, Episode something, the last one before the finale, penultimate episode, 21, Absolution. I'm guessing that's going to be Daisy being absolved of her sins that she has done while brainwashed and all that. Aside from that, I don't really have any guesses. Let's get through this. That's all I can say. Okay, we're ending it there too. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna do a bit of my discussion immediately following it. It's interesting that Daisy now is actually trying to, get under his sway again. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. So this is going to immediately, make her the big villain of this again. She could then be the one who, he tells her to go do the rocket thing. I don't know how we're going to get the necklace from Fitz to Daisy. Don't know how the hell that's going to happen. But it seems like that is what's going to happen. Again, Hive is gotta be the most incompetent villain we have ever seen in this show. I was really, really into him, but just the more we're seeing of him, the more, he's just not scary. He's not threatening. He's just, I don't expect any of his plans to go to work. And it's stacks up against extremely incompetent S.H.I.E.L.D. as well, who you would think that, that would balance each other out, but it really doesn't. It just doesn't. And, there's just so many individual characters that could get this done faster than working as a team. This honestly should just be Elena versus Guerra. They two are just so confident themselves that they could have done everything that has been happening over the course of this season. They could pretty much just be doing themselves and be pretty fine. And it really wouldn't change the plot that much. I hope that James gets to do some cool stuff before he dies, because I feel like he's going to die at the end of the season, so I hope he can do some more cool stuff before that happens. Please. And glad that Lincoln is leaving S.H.I.E.L.D. Even if I don't care about Lincoln, even if Lincoln might be one of the worst characters in the show, I think, I'm glad that he is at least leaving. I'll always be glad when people are leaving S.H.I.E.L.D. And just... oh, man. Glad I only have one more episode left. Very glad I only have one more. These primitives, as Radcliffe wants to call them. I'm not going to call them that, but for sake of clarity. So they are immediately under Hive's influence, and they have no semblance of themselves left at all. So I guess it doesn't seem like it can be reversed. They're really trying to make Radcliffe reverse it, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be possible. And if he doesn't, they're going to turn him into one of them because they're assholes. That's just S.H.I.E.L.D. They have no moral compass. It was really, really interesting. The highlight of this episode was Hive and his memories and everything they were doing to his brain. Again, it felt like they were really laying into the Ozymandias machine that he'd built to deal with Dr. Manhattan. But I really like that, the idea of, getting him in this small space to trap him. This is the only thing that can not even kill him, but just sort of set him back a bit. And, it certainly did. It had much more effect than I thought it was going to. It seemed like it was just, sort of making his memories go fray, and I was like, okay, well, it slowed him down, but it didn't really seem like it was going to do anything. But, no, I'm glad that this has had permanent, lasting effects, and by the end of the episode, it's not even fixed yet. A lot of times that'll happen where, we'll have effects, but by the end of the episode, no longer. But, so I'm glad that it's having permanent effects. I think it's really adding a lot of interesting, it's making him feel more distinct from Ward. Even if that is through him becoming more like Ward, it is the mixing of these memories and him feeling like one person now, as opposed to before, where he felt like Alveus, and he would sometimes touch into the memories, but for the most part, he was pretty much just Alveus, and that's it. Whereas now he actually feels like a different, he feels like a Hive now. There was a lot of good comedy this episode, which I'm glad about. That's really the only thing I have going for me at this point is the comedy. So the whole Talbot and Fitz situation, that was hilarious. And I mean, there's also just plenty of stuff that was not supposed to be funny this episode that was very, very funny. Like, almost everything to do with the Primitives was... I mean, not like Daniel Radcliffe and the Primitives was supposed to be comedic, but I mean, like, everything towards the end of the episode, like, with the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents being drugged into the gas and everything, that was just... They could not have made that more comical if they were trying to actually make it comical. That was supposed to be a serious, oh no situation, but it was so fun. They just, like, run out there and stand with their backs to the Primitives and just basically Fitz, like, what should we do, Fitz? Oh no, they've grabbed me and are pulling me back. I'm like, what did you expect to happen? Oh my god. These discussions get harder and harder to do because there's nothing I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the relationship between Mac and Elena. I don't care about the relationship between Mac and Elena. What are my thoughts on it? I don't like it. It's boring. I don't like it. I just don't care about either of them. Same with Mac and Daisy. I was totally uninterested. It's like before, where at least we would have the like, oh yeah, you know, this is kind of like S.H.I.E.L.D. and we've kind of just dropped the like, you know, talking about shit. Like, I'm realizing that now when Hive's doing that, that's not supposed to be an audience going like, yeah, it is like S.H.I.E.L.D. They want the audience to go, no, what are you talking about? It's not like S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, this show just... It fits in Simmons as well, like they're doing this whole vacation thing, but I have nothing to say about it because I don't care about any of the characters. I can talk about the plot still, but I cannot talk about these characters. They're just, I just can't. I cannot. But I would say the first 10 minutes, the first like quarter of this episode was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Really, really good. The rest of the episode started going downhill and downhill and downhill and downhill. But first 10 minutes I did really, really enjoy. And I just, you know, I still enjoy Guerra and James. Those two are still good characters. Radcliffe I'm enjoying sticking around, but I know I'm not going to like where the show is taking Radcliffe, because every time I think there's an interesting character, the show takes them in the most uninteresting routes. It really is like they rack their brains to figure out what would be the least interesting thing to do here. So, yeah, maybe I'll come back with more to say for the discussion, but I don't think it was exactly clear, but that memory machine thing was the thing they were using on Hive, right? Did I read into that right? Is that what was going on there? They had, like, taken it apart and re-put it together as that sort of thing? But, either way, I do love that they constantly talk about, like, okay, we're going to have to use the memory machine again, and even though they've used it so many times, they use it a lot. All right, I'll see you guys for the next one. Till then, get the fuck out of here.